What's going on, y'all? My name is Valak, and today we're back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about my best DXM trip ever. But before we get into that, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, like if you do enjoy, and comment down below any suggestions or whatever. Let me know if you all have ever done DXM, or if you have, what your best trip was in the comments. I'd like to hear about it. So let's get this started off. Let's go ahead and just give you some background with it. This trip happened pretty far into my usage of DXM. I had already been using DXM for almost like 5 months by then. Like, it was a pretty long period of time where I would be using DXM for quite a bit. So yeah, I'd already been using it, but most of the time I had gotten it through Robitussin bottles or some other disgusting form of freaking taking the drug. But I was like, I heard about this thing on the Reddit, subreddit, and it said that there was sorry about that weird cut, but anyway, they said that there was another thing I can try that, again, I'm not going to state in this video, but like I said, look up robotripping.com and you'll see what I'm talking about. Anyway, so pretty much I looked for it and I had gotten it online. I ordered it off of Amazon. I didn't order it off of the official site. And I had, at the time, I was living with my father, so I couldn't just order it straight home because a box of cough medicine is weird. I ordered a 12-pack. So I sent it to a friend's house, and then that same night I went over to that friend's house and we smoked a lot. That might be another story. So that package arrived at the house. I go up and pick it up. Everything's great. Now I have 12 substance bottles, I guess I could say, some medicine. And I have 12 bottles of DXM. And what's so great about this product is that they are the size of shot glasses. So you can literally pour a whole 450 milligram dose into a shot glass and just shoot it like you would normal whiskey. And it's obviously not meant for medical, but, legally speaking, it's meant for medical usages. But anyway, I picked it up, got home around like 9, maybe 10. I waited for my father to go to sleep. My dad went to sleep. I was ready to go ahead and pop these bad boys. So I broke the seal on 2 of them, and then I dosed 1. This was not the first time. Okay, so I got the package. I dosed 1 bottle one night, and then about like a week or 2 later, I dosed this. So then I dosed 2 bottles 2 weeks later after that first dose. And this is when I started tripping. I always, whenever I take huge psychedelic doses like that, I always throw my phone. I yeet that bitch. That bitch goes across the fucking room, alright? That hoe is gone. I wake up and that bitch is hiding under the goddamn, floorboards, alright? For some reason, every time I trip on DXM, my phone or even any electronic device around me just gets flung into air, alright? I don't fuck with technology on DXM, apparently. Even if I'm trying to listen to music. I don't know why. I have no clue. But for some reason, I always yeet that bitch. So we're on the come up of this high after I dosed both bottles. And pretty dissociated very quickly. So I just put on some Tool, because I like Tool. And I was, what the fuck? Excuse me. What the hell? And I was listening to some Tool, relaxing, and then I was feeling pretty dissociated. It started feeling a little fuzzy, so I decided I was going to tell my girlfriend that I'd text her later. So I did, and I wasn't texting anyone. I was waiting, and then things got a little, interesting around the maybe hour and a half mark, where I started to really get there. And I would say I was already in second plat, and I was pretty out there. And I was I remember the first hallucination I started to have where I would look at the wall and there'd be a grid pattern, kind of very faint grid, very, very faint, almost cartoon looking, almost didn't look fucking real. And I was looking at the wall and it had a grid on it. And then another hallucination I would notice was my hearing was weird. I couldn't tell from how far things were. So if I heard a police siren all the way in the distance, fucking 80 streets down the road, I would hear it, but I wouldn't hear it as if it was 80 streets down the road. I would hear it as if it was right fucking next to me. Or vice versa, my fan was right next to me and it sounded like my fan was 80 miles away for some reason. It was really odd. I don't know if anyone else has ever said that they've had that effect on DXM. I have no clue. I know auditory hallucinations are definitely a thing. So let's just kind of skip to the interesting part. Let's go like further down, maybe another hour into the trip, and I'm really tripping now. I am out there. I am in the ether. I am in the fucking astral plane. All right, and by that I mean I was bedridden. I couldn't get up. If I were to get up and try and use the bathroom, I'd probably break my face because I didn't know how to walk. I was fully dissociated. I couldn't walk. I couldn't talk. I couldn't speak. I couldn't hear anything of the outside world. I was in my own world, and I had Tool just blaring. Listen here. Tool while you're on DXM is absolutely insane. It's insanity. It's insanity. It's fucking insane. It's weird, and it's almost like it's like a trip itself. And it made me imagine so many weird like landscapes of like, I don't know, it's just like kind of like grungy, rundown projects type landscape for Tool. I don't know why, but it was really weird. And I was like kind of fucking getting really anxious because it was like a Tool song. It was Lateralus, I think, and it was like and it was making me really anxious because I was like, when's the drop coming? Oh my god! Like I started getting anxious, and I was like, I gotta turn it off. So I guess that's around probably the point where I yeeted my phone, and I couldn't hear anything. And my girlfriend calls me on video chat, and no, I don't know where I am, so I don't even remember answering. But apparently I answered, and she was on for the rest of the night. But so I guess I answered that, and then I remember one hallucination very vividly, one in particular, and it was a closed-eyed visual, and I was going in between like sleep and like consciousness and unconsciousness, and I would just go in between, and I would hallucinate in my dreams, and obviously my dreams were affected by the hallucinations. I mean, not by the hallucinations, but by the drug. And then when I would wake up, I would also hallucinate. So it was just a weird like 4 hour like of me going in and out of consciousness while moving around on my bed because I had such bad fucking robo itch. Fuck robo itch. If you guys don't know what that is, it's when you do so much fucking DXM, your skin starts to itch. It's like crawling. But anyway, so I had this weird vivid hallucination where I was surfing, or I was like on like a skateboard or some kind of like some kind of board, like a deck, and I was surfing a woman, a full grown woman, but she was like laying on her side, and I was surfing where her hips were. Like I was going down towards her rib cage and like all across her body. She was naked, but it wasn't sexual. It was really like weird, and like it was almost like the entity was speaking to me in another language, but I didn't know that. Like I didn't know that. Like what language it was, but I understood every word. Like I didn't know what she was saying in the language, but I understood it. Like I comprehended in English, like as if there was a translator in my brain that was translating it to English or something. It was really weird, but I remember it being something like, like something about it was like it was like you'll be okay, or everything's okay, or like it was talking, I can't remember, but it was really weird. I remember feeling very euphoric and very, very happy. And then I had a weird spout of dissociation, and it was unpleasant. This was an unpleasant part of the trip, and it was the only unpleasant part of the trip, but it was definitely an unpleasant part. I started to sort of think back to my life, like to my girlfriend and to my friends and, my dad and the house I lived in at the time. I started to just think about who Valak was as a person. And it really fucked me up. It fucked me up hard because I was like, who is that? Who is my girlfriend? Who are those people? Like, those people don't mean anything. It was almost like they were a distant memory. It was only like it was almost as if like all my life had happened like 100,000 years ago, and I was just reading about it and I was thinking about it as if it had happened like super long ago. And it was just so weird, and I couldn't associate with any of those, and I started getting a little scared. So I just like said, you know what, let's shut my eyes and just relax again, and I'll be fine. So I woke up again about an hour later. So we're about maybe like 5 hours into the trip, and I look up and I look at my walls, and I see like there's like patterns on my walls, very vivid. And it was almost like they were loading spirals. They were like loading screens, like what you picture like a loading spiral to be. Like imagine what a loading spiral looks like. And it was like maybe they were like 4 inches by 4 inches, but they were all over my walls. There was hundreds of them, all lined up symmetrically, all going in like different different speeds and different like directions. It was super, super, super disorienting. And I just remember sort of just closing my eyes and then waking up the next day like feeling like complete shit. That's what the one thing I have to say about DXM is, like, when you take 900 or even like just fourth plat, third plat doses, it can really fuck you up the next day. Like, I felt like, and I don't mean to offend anyone, I felt like a fucking retard. Like, I felt like an idiot. Like, I felt like if you asked me what 2 + 2 was, I would say like the president of the United States. I was a fucking retard the next day. I didn't know who anyone was, what anyone was, but that's like the app. But a lot of people say that DXM has a great afterglow, and that's true, but that's not the case when it comes to really heroic doses. The heroic doses, there is an afterglow, but there's also a hangover too. It's like a hangover and then an afterglow, but you also sort of have the afterglow while you're on the hangover. It's a really weird situation, but I love DXM. I love the trips. I always consider that to be one of the most impactful and insightful ones. It really helped me look at some of my friends in more of a critical lens rather than a blinded, oh, they're my friend type of way. So that's the story of my best DXM trip. It was 900 milligrams, and I don't remember if I've said the brand of the cough medicine yet. If I have, then I don't give a fuck. Fuck it. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Like the video if you did enjoy. Sorry that this was a little more of a chill one. I'm feeling really chill today, so I didn't really feel like being a little extra. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.